Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be an analysis of some of the more popular futures markets out there for day traders. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. So first off, one quick clarification, and that is I'll be using the 1 hour time frame, meaning if you're a beginner, each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 1 hour's worth of time. And yeah, I'm sure you're well aware, but what a brutal, well, not brutal if you were short, but just overall, a brutal day for the bulls as the price dropped down in that area. And this little area here that I mapped out, it did do a good job. It did its best to hold strong, and then late day showed up, finally broke through there, and the floodgates opened back up. So on that note, first key update is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if there is any sort of, snap back up, that'll be the first big question mark in the sense of, is the price, is any sort of bounce going to have enough strength to push back above that area, which is essentially at the 21,000 mark. So 21,000 key area of resistance. I would say a nearer term level of resistance, and I'm just going to use this line now, right here at that level of the 20,790 mark. So 20,790 and then 21,000 going to be the two main areas of resistance headed into the next session. As far as levels of support are concerned, what I'm going to do here is actually change to the 4 hour time frame, meaning each one of these now represents 4 hours of time, because as you're seeing here, I'm going to have to go back way into the chart's history to figure out, oh wow. All right, let's just do this. At this point, I didn't realize it was that bad. We're going to go to the daily time frame. So each one of these now represents an entire day. There we go. So next potential area where this could be headed, green for support, right down there at 20,500. And then after 20,500, I'm going to add in one more. Next potential area of support, right down there around 20,350. But yes, look at just the day. What a nasty, nasty candle. In fact, I think it was bigger than these candles over here. So brutal movement. The bears are still out in full force. So yeah, we'll see how this continues to play out. And I don't think I mentioned what I was covering. Hopefully you saw it though up here. That was all about the NQ. So that was the NQ market. Sorry about that. But now let's move on to the next one. Next one here, we are looking at the ES. So taking a look at the ES, and it didn't fare very much better compared to the NQ. Brutal move here. Had this bottom support as a potential, kind of a sideways channel pattern here that had formed. Down here you can see the price was basically just kind of chopping back and forth. But yeah, came down there late day, broke through it, and things just got rough in a hurry. We are looking at the 30-minute right now, so let's go to the hourly time frame. Still showing us the same thing, but that is where the first update is going to come into play. Again, when levels of support are broken and closed below, tend to act as resistance. So if the bulls do try to curl back around and make another run up at these levels, then same general idea as NQ. First key level to watch is going to be that 59.24 mark, so keep a close eye on that. I'm also just going to go ahead and get rid of that level now. It served its purpose, and I don't want to risk causing clutter and confusion because there's lines everywhere. Now let's skip back to the daily. Usually I don't skip around time frames like this, but because the price is now down at ranges that has not been seen for literally several weeks, got to do that. And moving forward into the next session, got to think all eyes are going to be watching that level right there. That pink line represents the 200-day simple moving average, right now valued at 58.38. So no guarantee. So I'm not saying the price is for sure going to drop down to that area, but you got to think a lot of people will be watching that very closely. If the price goes down there and cannot quite hold above that area, next key area of support, generally speaking, going to be right down there around the 57.94 mark, which seems to have quite a bit of history at that level. You can see several times there, price held, didn't hit exactly, but very close. Does that mean for sure guaranteed it'll bounce off that level again? No such thing as a guarantee, but I would certainly consider it quite plausible to think if the price were to get down to 57.94, if you were to say, I think it might bounce there. I would say, okay, well, no guarantees, but I 100% don't think that's an illogical thought on your part. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out in the next session, but the bears are back. Next one here, YM, and all things considered, YM held up pretty strong. Now, granted, it did ultimately roll back over, but when you looked at the NQ and the ES, those were just essentially straight up, those were just boldly down. So, but this situation, again, it came down, but what I'm very curious about now is it has actually broken to the downside of what had been this multi-day sideways channel. But as of now, the price is down below the bottom of the channel. So my question is this the start of something bigger? Are the bears getting ready to rev their engines and make an even bigger push to the downside? That remains to be seen. But I think that's what it's all about in headed into the next session, is what does this channel breakdown mean? If the price can quickly snap back above, even if it gets it back above it and then starts chopping around from a technical standpoint, I would argue that is still a good thing, because at least the price is then back inside of this channel. So yes, the sideways channel has been broken. Is this break right here the start of something much bigger to the downside? We'll see what happens. Now we're moving into the oil market, and specifically crude. So taking a look here at CL. And CL, and this will mean more to those of you that if you watched the video that I did yesterday, but I put that breakout point in play, and you can see started off the session, but earlier on, came up to that level, got the break, and then an absolutely beautiful, beautiful breakout, broke through the purple line right there. So oil, or specifically crude oil, firing on all cylinders here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And moving into the next session, next key battleground to keep a close eye on, all about that pink line, which you now know represents the 200 period simple moving average. Current value of that up there at 70.83. So yeah, a lot of upside movement today. And if the price can get up there and push up through that level, again, no guarantees, but I think that could be an area that might generate that much more upside potential as happened today. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. Support-wise, what I'm very curious about now is notice how this purple line here had been going down, 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 but it actually has started to curl upwards ever so slightly. So the longer the price stays above it, that line's going to curl itself up even more and become basically an uptrending trend line. So I'm very curious, can that happen? And in order for that to happen, that's going to require the price to stay above the purple line as time goes by. So that's why I would call it an important area of support, because again, as long as the price stays above that purple line, it's going to curl upwards and then start to get more of an uptrending angle to it. But anyway, look at it. Great movement here, and I guess in a very near-term standpoint, have a nice little bull pennant pattern that has formed. So can the bull pennant get the break to the upside and then create that much more buying pressure? We'll see what happens. Next one here, stepping into the precious metal market, and specifically gold. So taking a look at GC, and the downwards pressure resumes. It had started to go sideways, tried to go sideways, had this area of support right here at 29.03, but with the price now breaking down below it, that is going to be the first key primary level to keep an eye on from a resistance standpoint. And also, I could see this trend line right here starting to come into play and offer some significance. So I'm going to make that a little bit different to see. So from a resistance standpoint, if there is any sort of bounce, these would be the two initial levels to watch. And then from more of an overarching standpoint, from the resistance standpoint, keep an eye on that purple line there, 50 period moving average. You can see right there, got somewhat close to it before rejecting it back down. But I'm also getting a little bit ahead of myself, because first the price just needs to get above these initial areas right here. In terms of levels of support, no need to overcomplicate it. Just ask a very basic question. Where did the bleeding finally stop today during this session? And that was down there at 28.79. So keep an eye on that. If the price cannot hold above there, then as you're seeing, we're having to go back quite a bit of the ways into the chart's history. But if 28.79 doesn't quite hold, the next key overarching area to keep a close eye on would be 28.55. But all in all, the bears have shown up in gold quite a bit here over the past several sessions. But overall, you got to be careful, because this thing has had its explosive moves, but right now it seems as though the bears are in control. So that wraps up the analysis, and hopefully you already noticed a link at the top of the screen the entire time, but if you have not yet, that is a link that'll take you to Take Profit Trader, and that is the prop firm for futures trading that I use and recommend. They have great payouts. They're very quick. You can request payments whenever you want. There's a lot of things to like about them, and they're also available to pretty much anybody around the world. Now, if you do see your country on that list, unfortunately for you, you would not be able to use them. But if your country is not on that list, then they would offer you direct access right to the USA markets via the futures market. So be sure to check them out and make sure you use that link that you see, because that'll ensure you get their current promotion, which is 50% off all of their accounts. So check them out. So thanks for watching. As always, if you appreciate these videos, if you like the analysis videos, hit that like button. And if you're looking to support the channel in a super free and easy way, please hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Take care.